Okay, sorry about that. I think we're good. All right, so we'll say, so the Gemara says as follows. Rav Avya Amar Rav Yisa. So remember again, today we're continuing along with the topic of remedies, kind of just like we've been doing up until this entire time. The topic of remedies. So the Gemara says as follows. The Gemara says, Rav Avya Amar Rav Yisa Dechala. So here, remember again, we ended off yesterday with the sugya regarding mashkin giluyim. If you have liquids which were left uncovered over the course of the night, so again, and one drank them, so halacha lamaisa, what remedies could one employ in order to ensure that the negative effects of the mashkim gluyim are not felt? So Rav Avia Amar Ravisa dechalva meizach yurter. Rav Avia says, if you drink a revius of milk from a white goat, Rav Huna bar Yehuda Amar laisi esroga chalisa, bring a sweet esrog, velachke v'lemali duvsha, hollow it out and fill it with honey. And put it by the coals. Allow the honey to go ahead and essentially cook into the esrog and then eat it. Rabbi Chanina Amar Meira. So again, these were all just different remedies that they employed again for mashkim giluyim. So the Gemara goes weiter. The Gemara says Rabbi Chanina Amar Meiraglayim, urine. Urine was also considered to have certain medicinal effects. B'nei arbaim yom barzina lizibura. So we'll say if the urine is 40 days old, a barzina, which is a small amount, is effective for a bee sting. Revia, lakrava. A revius is effective for a scorpion sting. Palgo revia ligiluye. Half revius is good for mashkim giluyim. Revia, but a revius, a 40-day-old urine, I feel the kshafim malu is so powerful that it even has the ability to offset the effects of sorcery. Amar Rabbi Yochanan, a nigron. So we'll say a nigron, we saw before, remember again in Brachas. So a nigron ultimately again is vegetables cooked in water. Rashi says over here, we'll see a nigron va'av nagar vitiraike ma'alu ben legilui ben lekshafim. So we'll say, what does this mean? So tyrike is balsam. But interestingly enough, if you look at Rashi, a nigron va'avangar vitiraiki, ma'im shenishlak bohen benagri min esev sheshmo benagri, ustam anigron me shalak. So we'll say, so again, all a nigron is vegetables cooked in water, and again, this nagri also is cooking a type of root in water as well. So apparently, again, this concoction is helpful for both mashkim giluyim as well as for kshafim. Haiman de balich yubas. We'll say now we're going to speak a little bit about snakes. So if a person inadvertently, I'm assuming inadvertently, swallows a snake, so what do you do? How do you deal with this? So the Gemara says, Lochle b'keshusa b'milcha, go ahead and eat hops, right, with salt, v'leharte tlasa mili, and then go ahead and run 3 mil. So apparently, again, the eating the hops with salt, running 3 mil, has the ability to go ahead and kill the snake inside of you. Rav Simi bar Ashi So Rav Simi bar Ashi saw that a certain man swallowed a snake. Idmile keparsha. So he appeared to him. Rav Simi apparently disguised himself and dressed up as an officer, someone of authority. So what happened? So he ordered the man to go ahead and eat hops with salt and run 3 mil. And the snake came out of the guy in pieces. An alternate version of the story, that ultimately Ashi swallowed the snake. Eliyahu Hanavi appeared to him like an officer. He went ahead and he ordered him. Eliyahu Navi ordered Simi to go ahead and eat the hops with salt. And ordered him to run 3 mil. And the snake came out of him in pieces. So we'll say this was the remedy that was employed ultimately. And Rashi points out that if you eat the hops and you run, essentially the body overheats to such a point that the snake cannot exist inside of the body. Okay. Haiman de tarki chiyuve. So we'll say ultimately again, if there was an individual who was bitten by a snake, go ahead and find the fetus of a white donkey, tear it open, and put it on the area, the affected area. Right? Put it on the snake bite. But this is only true if upon opening up the donkey itself is not a treifa. So the Gemara tells a story. Hahu, top of Kuf Yud. Hahu bar kasha de pumpadisa. there was this individual who was Rashi's Bar Kasham is Memuna Lemelech V'Yisrael Haya. There was a guy who was like an officer to the king. An officer to the king. So what happened? The Tarki Chiyuah, he was bitten by a snake. So again, we know the remedy now. Find the fetus of a white donkey. So the Gemara says, there were 13 white donkeys in Pumbedisa. Kar inhu lekulhu. He tore open all of the donkeys, all of the white donkeys. So the Gemara says, Vishtachachu treifa. And it turned out that they were all a treifa. Right? Every single one of the donkeys was a treifa. So the Gemara says, treifa havi chad. So the Gemara says, Vishtachu treifa havi chad bahu gisa de Pumbedisa. So they found another donkey. They heard about another donkey on the other side of Pumbedisa. Ad azli maisi la. So until they got to it, the other donkey, achla arye. A lion ate the donkey. So what's interesting about this is as follows. Out of 14 white donkeys in Pumbedisa, this guy wasn't able to use one of them. The first 13 all turned out to be treifas. And remember again, the whole white donkey fetus remedy only works if the animal's not a treifa. So the first 13 were treifas. And then the last one, ultimately what? The last one was eaten by a lion. So we'll say, so Dilma chazua. So the Gemara says, Dilma chivai dirabanan tarki delesle asusa. Maybe this was a rabbinic snake that bit this guy. Because everyone knows that a rabbinic snake bite does not have a remedy. We'll say, what's a rabbinic snake bite? Tichsiv uporetz keder yishachenu nachash. As the pasuk says, he who breaches the fence will be bitten by a snake. So we'll say ultimately again, this pasuk is a reference ultimately to the need to be very careful and vigilant with rabbinic law. The rabbis, the rabbanon, go ahead and set up gidarim, set up protective fences around halacha, and therefore there's an obligation to ensure that halacha lemaisa, one safeguards rabbinic law. So the Gemara says, Abai says, maybe this guy did something that he breached a rabbinic fence, and therefore halacha lemaisa, again, the snake bite that he got didn't have any remedy. So Amrulay in Rabbi, yes, Rabbi, that is correct. Because what did this guy do? Is actually very interesting. When Rav died, Gaza Rabbi Yitzchak bar Bisna, Deleka dilotamte asa v'gidmi lebehi lula b'tavla. So we'll say when Rav passed away, Rabbi Yitzchak made an enactment, and what was the enactment? That people should not go ahead and bring hadassim, myrtle branches, and palm branches together with bells to weddings. So people used to bring this as part of like the celebration. You know, the myrtle branches, the palm branches, you go ahead and with the bells, the music, to make the wedding Labor Day. So when Rav passed away, Rabbi Yitzchak said that for the year of Rav Zavelos, we should mute our celebration at the Chasana just a little bit, out of deference for the loss of Rav. So the Gemara said, what happened? And this guy, this individual, still brought the myrtle branches, the palm branches, and the bells to the wedding. Therefore, the snake bit him, and he died. And I will say to show ultimately again that this snake bite was not just random, but rather this was as a result ultimately of what? Of his non-compliance with rabbinic law. There was no remedy for this snake bite. Haiman the karchi chive. So say if a person has a snake that wrapped itself around him, what should you do? Linchos liyama, go into the water, go into a sea, right? Velischov dikula aresha ulehad kimine. And as you're in the water with the snake, place a basket. Let's gently lower a basket over the snake's head and kind of lure the snake into the basket. And therefore, again, and as soon as the snake fully goes into the basket, throw it into the water and run. So the Gemara says, Haiman demikni bechive. So let's listen to this. If there's a person that's actually interesting, Rashi says, demikni bechive, koes verodev acharav umeriach reach pama verodfo. If one is being pursued by a snake, and I will say it appears that this snake really has it out for this individual. So what should you do? The Gemara says, like the snake picked up the scent. Snake picked up your scent and is running after you. So if you're traveling with a friend, so get on your friend's back and let him carry you a little bit. Right? Dalet Amis. This way, again, I guess, without your footsteps, the snake kind of loses your trail. Ve'ilo, but if you're not traveling with a friend, Lishuar Nagra. Rashi says over here, Lishuar Nagra, Charit Shemaim Yidlo, jump over a large puddle of water. This way, again, the assumption is that the snake is not going to follow you through the water. Ve'ilo, and if that's not possible, Le'avar Nara, go across, then try to cross a river. Ubalayla, and if it's nighttime, Lo Sve Lepuri Araba Chavisa, go ahead and put your bed on 4 barrels, or lift your bed up off the ground. V'nigne bekuve, sleep outside. In other words, not through a roof, because this way, again, the snake can't access you through a roof. V'laise dalit shunri, bring 4 cats. V'lisrinhu ba'arba kari depuria, tie them to the 4 posts of your bed. V'laise shechafi, and go ahead and bring twigs. V'lishte hasam. Most of the twigs, the chap with the twigs is, this way you'll hear the snake coming. V'lishte hasam, d'chishama kali achlile. This way again, when the snake comes, ultimately again you'll hear the snake. I will say, I'm sorry, just give me 1 second. I'm not sure, I'm having computer issues. Just give me literally 1 second. Not sure what's going on over here. Okay, we're good. Sorry about that. Must have kicked out the plug. I apologize. All right, so therefore, again, all of this in order to go ahead, right? All of it, this way, again, the cats, when they hear the snake moving around the twigs, ultimately, again, they will go ahead and eat the snake. Good. They will say, I just want to mention something. You're going to see the Gemara is going to spend a lot of time with snakes over here, and a lot of time like discussing these. It sounds strange, this notion of like a snake having it out for a particular individual, right? The snake's running after me, so go ahead and jump on my friend's back, jump over a puddle, sleep on barrels, but let's see if we don't have time for it now, but these Gemaras are based on the, we'll call it historical biblical animosity that exists between the snake and man. Going back, of course, to the story of Adam Harishon and the Nachash. In the first story of struggle in the world was not between people. The first struggle for autonomy, for power, was between the Nachash and between Adam Harishon. Right? When the Nachash encourages Chava ultimately to go ahead and eat from the Eitz Das Tova, to eat from the forbidden fruit, the goal of the Nachash was to knock off man. That was the goal of the Nachash. That the Nachash's intent was to become the crown jewel of creation. So there's much to discuss in terms of why was it the Nachash that did that, right? Why the Nachash and not any other animal? So again, there's more to discuss, but that figures into this motif in terms of when you're going to see it's going to get a bit more intense when we discuss these stories about Nachash man's struggle. So the Gemara goes weiter. The Gemara says, "Hayman derat abasrei lirat bechalsa." So ultimately, and I will say, if there is a snake running after you, run in sand dunes. Rashi says, "Bechalsa beinacholu she'inachash yachol larut sham biyachzor la'achora." So apparently, again, snakes have difficulty running through sand dunes, and therefore, again, halacha l'maisa, it's an easy way to lose the snake. But it's like a very strange situation. The Gemara saying here, "Hi isisa." If a woman sees a snake and the snake is following her and she's not sure if the snake is desirous of relations with her. Now you say to yourself, strange. So again, so remember, all of this goes back, this tension goes back to the story of Adam and Chava. We already, Rashi points out, Rashi quotes the Gemara, that part of the reason why the snake wanted Adam and Chava to go ahead and eat from the Eitz Das Tovara was why? So that Adam would die, so that the Nachash would marry Chava. They're both saying, now the biblical Nachash looked very different than the Nachash of today. It walked, right? It walked. It stood up straight. So we'll say, so there's this tension. So that's why, again, you see even this tension between woman and Nachash, even in the eyes of the Gemara. So if a woman's not sure if a Nachash is desirous of her, what should she do? So the Gemara says, Tishlach mana v'neshadya kameh. She should take her clothing, throw it in front of the nachash. Im machrich bahu. If the nachash wraps itself around her clothing, daite iluye. That means that the snake is desirous of her. V'ilo, but if the snake doesn't wrap itself around her clothing, lo yohiv daite iluye. That means that the snake does not have any intentions with her. Mai takante. So what should she do ultimately again to turn the snake away? Tishamish kameh. She should have relations with her husband in front of the snake. Ikeda Amri, others say, Kol shekin to takif leyitzir. No, not a good idea, because that's going to make the snake even more desirous. Ella tishkol mimazi umitarfa v'tishteba. She should take some of her hair and some of her nails, throw it in front of the snake. V'tema dishtana ana. And she should say, I am a nida. Rashi says, derech noshim li, I'm menstruating, v'lachash ba'amuhu. Rashi just says this is just a lachash. Lachash means like an incantation, not sorcery, but just something that she's supposed to say. So we'll say, so again, like I said, so much of this is rooted in Chazal's understanding of the nachash man tension based on Bereshis. Right? So we'll say, remember again, that story with the nachash. Ever wondered to yourself, why does the Torah even share that story? In other words, just tell me the bottom line. Adam and Chava ate from the forbidden fruit. That's the takeaway message over here. What's the pshat ultimately again that the nachash is involved? Because you see this jockeying for power, and it's interesting. It's jockeying for power. It's jockeying for Chava, right? Again, the nachash has this intention to get rid of Adam and replace Adam both as a husband to Chava, but also again as the crown jewel of creation. So the Gemara says, "Hi Isisa," along these same lines. Hi Isisa, da'ayil bechive. If a woman has a situation where a snake entered her body, so what should she do? Lifsa v'leisva atarti chavise. She should sit on top of two barrels. The Gemara says, "V'leise bisra shmeina." Take fatty meat. V'lishte agmor. As I told you, right? Fatty meat is the answer to everything. Right? Anything you could possibly imagine. Ultimately, again, fatty meat helps. V'lishte agmori. Put the fatty meat on the coals. V'leise agna de tachli. Let her bring a basket of cress. V'chamra and wine. Resichna v'lose hasam. Go ahead, boil it all up and put it underneath her. V'litrikinu b'hadiadadi. Mix it all together. V'linkot savsa. She should take a pair of tongs. D'chimerach recha nafki va'asi v'lishkele v'lekalye benura. And when the snake is supposed to say, so the assumption is if she makes this concoction of the wine, the meat, the cress smells delicious. So what's going to happen? The snake is going to come out, and as soon as the snake comes out, she should grab it with the tongs, throw it into the fire. The Gemara says, "Di'ilo hadr iluya," because if she does not kill the snake right then and there, ultimately again it will come back to her. So Shabbos says, so again, did something like this actually occur? Right? Did this type of situation happen? So the mice can remember again, who knows? I don't know. Chazal giving us the remedy for it. But Lemaisa, the idea, again, all of this sounds strange to us that a person would have such an intimate struggle with an animal. It's not any animal. This is the nachash. The nachash was the biblical nemesis of man. This tension that exists ultimately again in nature between man and the nachash, really quite amazing. Kala ochlin. So remember again, so the Mishnah said that although there is a prohibition to engage in medicinal healing on Shabbos, halacha l'maisa, anything that's a normal food, you're permitted to eat it on Shabbos, even if halacha l'maisa, you're only eating it for its medical properties, medicinal properties. So kala ochlin la'asuyeh mai, what does kala ochlin come to include? La'asuyeh t'chol l'shinayim, both say to say that you can eat t'chol. T'chol is liver, or spleen I should say. You could eat spleen on Shabbos, because it's good for the teeth, even though again spleen is not very good for the intestines, for your intestines. The karshinin and leeks, which are good for the which are good for the intestines, even though again they're difficult on the teeth. I suppose that you're allowed to eat something on Shabbos that is helpful for one thing and detrimental for something else, as long as it is a food that is normally consumed even by healthy people. What about drinks, right? Any drink you could drink, what does that come to include? That comes to include ultimately again tzlaf. Remember again, tzlaf is a caper berry. Right? So if you have a caper berry in vinegar, you could drink that on Shabbos as well. Apparently, again, that was a drink that people drank for medicinal purposes, but healthy people also drank it as well. Amalei Ravina Rava, Ma'al lishtos miraglayim b'Shabbos. Can you drink urine on Shabbos? Amarlei Tanina Kalamashkin shows miraglayim lo shasu inshi. You could drink a liquid that people normally consume, but since people don't normally consume urine, and I guess the only reason potentially you would consume some urine is for some type of medicinal, like we saw before on Amud Beis, for medicinal purposes, sahalach lamaisa, you can't drink it on Shabbos. Chutz mi made the column, with the exception of made the column. Says the Gemara, what's made the column? Tana chutz mi made the karim. So we'll say others say that the way to read this is not made the column, but rather again made the karim. The karim means it's like a sword, right? Water that stabs, unhealthy water. So the Gemara says man the tana made the karim shem dokrim es hamara, because they go ahead and literally split the bile split the bile. Umandar made the kalim. What does it mean made the kalim? Sheyotzin min shnei dikale. It's water that emanates from between two palm trees. My made the kalim. Amar Rabba Barbarona tarti taloi ike b'ma'arava. There are two taloi. Rashi points out over here, taloi was a type of palm tree. So there were two palm trees in Eretz Yisrael. V'nafka ene demaya b'minayhu. And ultimately, again, there was a stream that emanated from between these two palms. And it was known that this water had incredible medicinal impact. Kasa kama mirapi. The first cup of water you drink from this stream from between the two palms loosens up the bowels. Idach mishalshel. The second cup causes you to go ahead and literally empty your insides out, right? Again, shulshul means like diarrhea, but in this case, you're supposed to say it's not diarrhea as a symptom of illness, but rather it's like a full body cleanse, like it just cleans out the body. V'idach ki hechi da'ayel hechi nafkin. I'm supposed to say the third cup that you drink comes out of your body as clear as it went in. So apparently, again, this water had an incredibly curative effect, cleaned out the system to the point that the third cup, you could drink it right when it comes out. It was just as clear as when it went in. Amar Ula, Lididi Shasi Shechar de Bavloi, Umayli Minaihu. Ula says, for me, I drink Babylonian beer, and Babylonian beer does wonders for my system. Right? Does wonders for my system. It's more curative and healthy than anything else. V'hudelo ragil be'arbain yom. And that's only if you don't drink it every 40 days. So the Rav Yosef Amar Zesum HaMitzri, this Egyptian beer, Tilsa Sari is 1/3 barley, Tilsa Kortami 1/3 saffron, the Tilsa Milcha 1/3 salt. And apparently, again, this was also drunk for medicinal purposes. Rav Papa Amar Tilsa Chiti, the Tilsa Kortami, the Tilsa Mincha. Rav Papa said, no, it's 1/3 wheat, 1/3 saffron, 1/3 salt. The Simonech Sisaani Vishasi Lahu Bein Dabcha La'atzarta. And the time to drink this, Rabbi says, between Pesach and Shavuos. Apparently, again, so this works better if drunk in a particular season. The Gemara says, "Dekamit merapile, udirapi kamitle." If you're bound, so what it sounds like is like if a person's constipated, so this loosens the bowels, and if a person is too loose, so it binds. Okay, because you can both say again. This is in general. We've spoken about this many times. So it's in Brachas a lot also. That Chazal obviously placed an incredible importance on being regular, right? Being regular. I'm talking about like relieving yourself, and they understood that ultimately. I don't mean like being regular, like I mean like being regular in a. You understand? So the idea is so that's why you see all of these remedies for like if you're bound, how to be loose. If you're loose, how to be bound. All of these different things. It was very Chazal felt that this was a cornerstone to preserving one's health. The kos ikrin, so Rabbi says, so the Mishnah said you can't drink the kos ikrin. My kos ikrin, on Rabbi Yochanan, laisi miskal zuza kuma alexandra. So let's listen to this. So here's how you make the kos ikrin. Laisi miskal zuza kuma alexandria. So we'll say, you go ahead and, here you go, Rashi says over here, kuma alexandria. Rashi says, Sraf Ilona Alexandria. So you go ahead and you bring a small amount of Sraf Ilonos, of sap from trees in Alexandria, Umiskal Zuza Gavya Gila, and you go ahead and you bring a little bit, Miskal Zuza is a small measurement of alum, Rashi says, Umiskal Zuza Kurkama Rishka, and 1 small amount of Kurkam, I will say, is saffron. Rashi is karkum shalgan, garden saffron. V'lishachkinu b'hadei adadi, mix it all together. So I will say, so what do you do? L'zava tlasa b'chamra v'lomi akra. If a woman is a zava, I will say, in this case we're talking about a woman who is having a flow. This is a non-menstrual flow, but it's having a flow that will not stop. So what does she do if she's experiencing this flow? So she takes all of these ingredients and she mixes it 3 parts to wine. Right, so she takes these items, right? So again, I will say you take these 3 items, you go ahead and you mix it with wine, veloma akra. It'll stop her flow and it will not cause her to become sterile. The arkuna, for jaundice, take 2 of the aforementioned ingredients, bishechra, mix it with beer. It'll cure the jaundice, but it'll make the person sterile who drinks it. Lizava, tlasa bechamra velome akra. So we'll say, so the zav, remember again, she takes all 3 ingredients, mixes it with wine, but it does not make her sterile. V'ilo, if this does not work, if this doesn't stop the flow, laisi tlasa kafizi amudez. Kafizi shamcha parsoi. Let her go ahead and take. Let her go ahead and we'll say, now kafizi is a utensil that holds 3 lug. Shamchi parsoi, go ahead and fill it with Persian onions, which Rashi says again apparently were larger onions. V'nishlok b'chamra, cook it in wine. V'nashkie, and ultimately again she should drink it. V'neim Allah, and he should say, the person who's making it should say to her, kum mizovech, arise from your zivos. V'ilo, and if that doesn't work, lo sva parshas drachim, let her sit on the crossroads. V'linka take kasa dechamra biyada, let her take a glass of wine in her hand. V'leise inish me'achori v'livase, and let someone sneak up behind her and scare her. V'leim Allah kum mizovech, and tell her, get up from your zivos. V'ilo, and if this doesn't work, leise buna de kamuna, go ahead and take, buna literally means a fistful of kamona, of cumin, right? Ubuna de morika, or a fistful of saffron. Ubuna de shavlalisa, and ultimately again a fistful of fenugreek. V'nishlok bechamra, and cook it in wine. V'nishke, and let her drink it. V'neima Allah, and say to her, kum mizovech, get up from your zivos. V'ilo, and if this does not work, leise shisin shi didana, let take 60 seals, 60 clay seals, v'leshafia, let her put it on her body, v'leim Allah, and say to her, kum mizovech, get up from your zivos. V'ilo, and if this still does not work, leise pashtina, let her bring a pashtina. Rashi says pashtina is Esav she'eno gadol bekuma ela holech upashat al gabi akarka. It's a type of grass that does not grow tall, rather it simply grows kind of across the ground. V'lishlok b'chamra, cook it in wine. V'lishvei, and let her apply it. V'nei malei, and let her say, v'nei malei, say to her, kum mizovech, get up from your zivos. V'ilo, and if this does not work, laise chanuga de higsa romisa, let her bring, look at Rashi. Rashi says over here, chargosa min esef shu gadol eitzelahigim. This is a type of grass that grows by thorn bushes. Higsa romisa min hegahu shenikromis. Okay, velilke, and burn it all together. Burn it all together. Velisve b'shachake de kisna, and let her go ahead and literally put it on. Literally means cotton cloths. Velisbe b'shachake de kisna b'kaita. Let her put it on cotton cloths in the summer. Rashi says you take this ash. You go ahead and you put it, and you take the ash and you put it on cotton or linen cloth in the summer. And you go ahead and you put it on cotton, or on thicker wool, thicker material in the winter. And again, apparently you put that on her body, and that should go ahead and stop the zivos. V'ilo, and if this does not work, lichre sheva biri, v'likli bohu shavishta, yalda d'arla. And if this doesn't work, then what should she do? Actually, interesting. If none of this works, v'ilo, lichri sheva biri, let her dig 7 holes. V'likli bahu shevishta yalda the arla, and let her go. Look at Rashi for just a moment. V'lichri shev biri shiva gumos shivisha de'arla zmuros shel kerem yulada. She should take 7 saplings or 7 branches from 7 arla growths. Remember again, arla growths ultimately again are those items that are within the first 3 years of their maturity. She should burn them in the holes that she dug. V'linkete kasa de chamra biada. Let her take a glass of wine in her hand. V'luk memeha v'lo sva'aha. V'luk memeha v'lo sva'aha. And let her go ahead and what? Let her take from this one. Look at Rashi for just a moment. V'luk me'aha me'al guma za me'al guma zu yoshivuha al zeh v'al kol amida namely kumza. And she should sit by this hole. She should sit by that hole. She should go to each of the 7. And by every hole, someone should say to her, Kum mizovech, get up from your zivos. V'ilo, and Rabbi say, if this does not work. So remember again, all of this, at a certain point in time, you just got to give up, right? As much as we always say, never give up in life, sometimes you just have to give up. I would say, so again, this is some of a situation where the woman, she's having a flow that will not stop. V'ilo, laisi smida, the liska mipalga litasoi. So we'll say, so what should she do? If not, she should go and laise smida. Now look at Rashi for just a moment over here. Kimcha de smida is kemech solas. Let her take fine flour, the liska mipalga litasoi, and let her apply it, right? Let her apply it to the lower part of her body. V'leimale, and she should say, kum mizovech, right? Stop the flow. V'ilo, and if this doesn't work, leise bi'asa d'ni'imasa. Let her go ahead and take. Rashi says bi'asa is an egg. Ni'imasa is basayana. Let her take a bird's egg. V'likle, and go ahead and burn it. V'lispe b'shachke de kisna b'kaita. Go ahead and take the ash and go ahead and put it in a linen garment during the summer. U'b'shachke da amar gufna besisu, and let her go ahead and put it in a woolen garment in the winter. And v'ilo liftach lachavisa. So again, and apply that on the body, and if that works, good. V'ilo, what if this doesn't work either? We'll say, so this is actually very interesting. V'ilo, and if none of this works, liftach lechavisa dechamra lishma. Open up a barrel of wine. So we'll say, this is great. If nothing else worked, just open up a big barrel of wine. Right, because again we're kind of getting to the end of the road over here. So open up a barrel of wine, the shma for her, right? Shma. So this is great, right? If all of this other stuff did not work, tell this lady, I'm sorry. Here's a barrel of wine. Here's a barrel of wine. We're opening this up for you. Hatzlacha v'ilo. And if that doesn't work, linkot sa'arasa de mishtachka bekufsa bikafusa de kudnach yura. So we'll say, if none of this works, so then what should you do? Rashi says you should take a sa'arta de mishtacha bekafusa de kudnach yura. Rashi says, sa'ora hanimtses bigalale pardelavana. You should take a kernel of wheat, right, which is like an undigested kernel of wheat that you find in the dung of a white donkey. So what do? Hold it in your hand. Inakta chad yoma. If she holds on to it for 1 day, then what? Paska treyome. The flow will stop for 2 days. Inakta treyome. If she holds on to the kernel for 2 days, Paska tlasayomi. The flow will stop for 3 days. The inakta tlasayomi. And if she holds it for 3 days, Paska liodam. The flow will stop forever. So we'll say, it sounds like the barrel of wine really seems to be the best approach, right, to all of this. If everything else fails, just open up the barrel of wine, lishma, and call it a day. So we'll say, so again, just so you understand, these were their remedies, right? These, so like I mentioned before, we'll say, Shlomo Zalman Auerbach, Zechatat Livracha, has a fascinating introduction in the Sefer Nishmas Avram, which is an incredible, like Nishmas Avram is like a medical encyclopedia. So Shlomo Zalman again has a fascinating insight where he discusses I think I've mentioned this like the last couple of days. These remedies of Chazal are not uniquely Jewish, meaning some of them are. You'll see that some of them are related to Torah, some of them are related to other, but again, many of them are just simply what was commonly used for remedies. So again, these were like the homeopathic type of remedies that they used for these different things. So you're talking about a woman who has an excessive flow. What would you do to stop it? So some of it sounds, herbal in nature. Other of it sounds a bit more esoteric in nature. So again, but this is what Chazal used. This is what they were using in the times to address these particular issues. Really very interesting. So the Gemara goes weiter. The Yerokna, or Liyarkuna, train b'shichra, umerka. So let's remember again, we're going back now for just a moment, jaundice. If a person was suffering from prolonged jaundice, so what would you do? You would take two of the ingredients. Remember again, I'll say the Gemara at the end of Amud Aleph spoke about these concoctions that you would make. Now the Gemara gave three ingredients, right? The three ingredients for the concoction were you would take a little bit of wheat or barley, a little bit of saffron, and a little bit of salt. So remember again, so the Gemara says that to treat jaundice, all you need to take is two of those ingredients and mix it together with wine, or mix it together with beer. Mix it together with beer. So the Gemara says, train b'shich, all right. Umeakar. So for jaundice, you take two of the ingredients mentioned on the end of Amud Aleph, mix it together with beer, and although it takes care of the jaundice, unfortunately, it results in sterility. So the Gemara says, ve'ilo, if this does not work, in other words, if this doesn't work to take away the jaundice, leise reisha de milcha v'lishlok b'shichra v'lishti. Take the head of a roasted fish, or take the head of a fish and roast it, right? Salt it and roast it, cook it in beer, and drink that concoction. Rashi says, Reisha de shibuta, rosh tag sheshmo shibuta. The shibuta is actually the name of a fish. Take the head of a shibuta fish, ultimately again, salt it, cook it in beer, and go ahead and drink the combination. Ve'ilo, and if that does not work for jaundice, leisi monini de kamtsi. Rashi says, go ahead and take the brine, grasshopper brine. Take grasshopper brine, and that'll help ultimately for the jaundice. Vi'i leka monini de kamsi. If you, for some reason, you don't have any grasshopper brine available, laisi monini dinikire. Go ahead, Rashi says, monini dinikire min ofos kitanim. Take the brine, ultimately again, of small birds. Vi'i leka monini de kamitzi. And if for some reason you don't have brine of small birds, laisi monini dinikiri. Go ahead and take monini dinikiri. Rashi says, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. V'ileka monini de kamsi leisi monini de nekiri. V'la'ayle lebe bani. Take it into the bathhouse. V'lashafye, and apply it. Apparently, apply it on the jaundiced areas, and that'll take care of the jaundice. V'ileka be bani. And if you don't have access to a bathhouse, lokme bein tanura leguda. Go between a stove and the wall. Again, apparently we'll say the whole chap with apparently part of the remedy for jaundice was to apply this mixture with heat, where there's heat. So the bathhouse obviously has heat. So if you don't have access to a bathhouse, it's okay. Just go ahead and stand between the wall and the oven, where there's going to be heat as well. If you really want to warm up, Rashi says over here, so apparently part of the treatment for jaundice, interestingly enough, is heat. So ultimately, the Gemara says what you could also do is wrap yourself in a blanket. Wrapping yourself in a blanket will also generate the requisite body heat for the remedy for jaundice to work. Rav Acha bar Yosef Chashbe. Rav Acha bar Yosef was once suffering from jaundice. So Avidli Rav Kahana prepared for him this whole concoction, the Refuah Zu Shal Sadin. And interestingly enough, what it sounds like over here was he took the remedy, wrapped himself in the blanket. The blanket caused the body to overheat, right? And it's the remedy together with the overheating that causes him to be healed. V'ilo, and if this doesn't work, or you don't have access to this, laisi telasa kafizi tamra parsiyasa. Go ahead and literally again take 3 Persian dates, right? Utlasa kafizi, or I should say 3 kafizi. These are their measurements. Utlasa kafizi de kira de nish terufe. And go ahead and take 3. Look at Rashi. Kira dinishtarufe, Rashi says, Shaivat safa v'notefes mikaveres shnesmali v'odefes. Take 3 kafizi of honey that is spilling out from the honeycomb. Utlasi kafizi oala, and ultimately take 3 kafizi of oala. Oala will say is aloe. Tola ana, ultimately again, literally red aloe. V'lishkalinho b'shichra v'lishte. Cook it up together in beer and drink it. V'ilo, and if this doesn't work, leise ila bar chamra. So what should you do? Abba says it's actually interesting. Go ahead and take an ila bar chamra. Rashi says, take a young donkey. V'liglach mitziasa dereisha. Shave the middle of your head. V'lishpuk le'dama me'afuse. Take blood from the forehead of the young donkey. V'losve areshe. Put it on your head, in the shaved part of the middle of your head. Make sure that the donkey blood doesn't drip into your eyes, so that it should not go ahead and blind you. V'ilo, and if this does not work, le'sereisha debarcha demanach bekivsha. Look at Rashi, literally again. Rashi says, reisha debarcha. Rashi says, shalayo. Go ahead and take the head of a ram, demanach bekivsha. Literally again, a pickled head of a ram. V'lishlok b'shichra, then cook it in beer. V'lishte, and drink it. And if that doesn't work, v'ilo, le'se davar achar chutrana. We'll say take a davar achar. And a davar achar means a chazer. Take a speckled pig, v'likare, tear it open, v'losve alibe, put it on your heart. V'ilo, and if this doesn't work, le'se karse mikavsusa, go ahead and take. Rashi says over here, kusvasa de mishri, Rashi says, I'm sorry, leise karsi mikavsusa de mishri. Go ahead and take, literally Rashi, me'em tzaharuga shem charifin. Go ahead and take leeks from a middle row. Okay, so we'll say the Gemara tells a story, and with this will end. Hu tayed the chashbe, there was once a certain Arab who was suffering from jaundice. Amarle liginoi shakul galimi v'havli mishra de karsi. Go ahead, I don't have any money, but take my cloak, and let me exchange my cloak to you for some of the leeks from your field. Because as we just saw, when you take leeks from the middle of the row, halacha l'maisa again, that allows a person to be treated for jaundice. So the Gemara says, Yoiv leiva achla. So ultimately, again, so the farmer made the swap, took the cloak of the Arab, gave the leeks to the Arab. Amrle ushlan glimech ve'egnibe. So the Arab said to the farmer, now, can I borrow your cloak? So I want to sleep a little bit. Can I borrow your cloak to wrap myself in it? So what happened? So he lent him back the cloak. So let's remember again, the Arab traded his cloak for the leeks. That's a necessary remedy for jaundice. Then he asked, can I borrow the cloak to sleep in it? The guy lent it to him. What happens? Kali ichrach ganabe kadis chamam v'kam nafal pursa mine. So it happens to say, so the Arab wrapped himself in the cloak because he also ate the leeks. His body overheated. And he overheated to such a point that when he got up, so the cloak disintegrated, right? In other words, the cloak was so heated by his body heat that the cloak disintegrated. The good news is that the Arab was healed, right? That's the reason the Gemara is telling the story, right? So the leaks and the overeating of the blankets work. So both saying, I just want to point out, if there's one thing that you have to emerge with an incredible appreciation about, to both say, it is medication. It is medication, right? How incredible is it? Both say we're living in a time now where we're so focused on the fact that we don't have a vaccine yet for coronavirus. But think about all the things that we do have vaccines for. And think about all the things that we have medications for, right? You have a headache, all it is a couple of Advil, and you're good to go, right? How many diseases do we have vaccines for, right? How many different things do we have ways to change? It's really incredible. Like you see these things that they were dealing with in times of the Gemara, and you see like the craziness, not craziness, but you see like the lengths to which people had to go to treat illness. And Baruch Hashem, for so many things that are potentially life-threatening, debilitating, and harmful, that Baruch Hashem, that we live in a time where there's such advances in medicine and science that we could treat so many things without having to go through all of the steps that Chazal had to go through. Baruch Hashem, we're privileged to live in such times. We'll stop over here. It's certainly a very exciting day of Daf. I see from a number of the faces that there's some side conversations going on as well. Baruch Hashem, so people are having even more excitement with the Daf. truly incredible. You know who you are, right? You're looking up right now. In fact, good. So we'll stop over here for today. We'll continue our session here tomorrow. We'll end this chat. We're going to start the minyan in the shul parking lot, which everyone is invited to. Begins at 7 a.m. with Mizmor Shir, and we'll broadcast for the Zooming in from there. Yeshkach Chabos. Have a wonderful day.